All right. So next is the time management. It's one of my favorite, and it's quite big, but I'm sure you will like it, and I'm sure you would have gone through that already in many number of videos. So time management, there's it's very huge topic, and it has lots and lots of entities to touch upon. But I'm going to touch upon very important critical ones, which will help you to build your own. Yeah. So what is time management? Managing your own time well in a proper way so that it gets benefited to you as well as people around you, to keep it simple. All right. So there are a lot of, as I was mentioning, there are a lot of items under time management. But then if I want to put the very first item at the top of the time management topic is punctuality, right? We've been talking about this in many different ways and various different things, but punctuality is one thing which will define your personality well among your peers, your managers, and your whomever you're working with. All right. So what's punctuality? Let's break down. Yeah, it's simple, right? Being on time. But have you? I'm sure you'd have heard about it. Like on time is already late. So what is that punctuality here now? So, right. So anything you go to a place anywhere, if you're supposed to be there at 9 o'clock, then you have to be there at least 10 to 15 minutes before. But if you ask me, be there at least 30 minutes before or even 1 hour before. Nothing wrong. You're not going to lose anything. And now, how it is relevant for your career, how it is relevant for you as a fresher, it's going to build an image for you among people around you. That could be anyone, right? When you start repeating and you start showing up to your office or to your work on a standard time, right? You are showing the world that you are someone who are trustworthy, who can be who's reliable, who can do things in a very consistent way, and many things, right? So let's do some little maths here, right? It's not that rocket science or something which is very difficult or something, because see, I'll tell you what, in reality, is it really matters? Yes, it matters. But how many people following that? That is a big question to be asked, and that's a big question to be answered also. If you ask me statistically, 85%, 80%, or even more are not following the time. Sorry to say that, but that's the fact. Be it an office, be it come to a meeting, for a discussion, for a coffee, for a family function, you name it. Anywhere, there's always a feeling that, it's okay we go 5 minutes late. It's okay we go half an hour late. It's okay we go on time. But fine, so that 80% people already do it, right? Then what is the difference between this 20% and 80%? What are those 20% people do, right? They are very serious about the commitment. They are very serious about the time they commit to and they follow to. So as I was saying, a little bit of max, right? It's not that difficult. We've been hearing about reasons about traffics. We've been getting reasons about, family fights and everything. But let's do some max, right? If you have to show up to a time at, like, say, 9 o'clock, and I said, like, 9 o'clock is the time, which means on time is already late, which means you have to be there at least 20 minutes before. And in my dictionary, it should be at least an hour before or 30, 45 minutes before. Okay, let's put an average of 45 minutes before. You have to be there. And you can still be there, but you have to put some thoughts around it. You have to make some genuine effort for that so that you can make it on time. And it is definitely doable unless you want to do it. Yeah. So let's do a max again. 9 o'clock, you have to be at office. Which means 8:45 you have to be at office and start. You have to be at desk, or you have to be around there at 8:45. 8:45 you have to be there, which means, say your house is around, like, 5 to 10 kilometers at a radius, which means your travel time is like 45 minutes. So if you have to be at office at 45 minutes before, it's 8:15, if you have to be there, which means you have to go through 45 minutes to 50 minutes of travel, which means you have to start your travel from home. It's like 7:10, roughly 7:15, let's say. 7:15 you have to start from home. You have to start from home from 7:15, which means you have to finish your breakfast and your preparation, your packing up and stuff, at least, again, 5-10 minutes before, which means by 7 you should be done with everything. So if you have to be done with everything, then you have to wake up at like 5:30, right? If you wake up at 5:30, then you can take rest, relax, do some pranayama, get some exercise, and you start doing your work. If you're a bachelor, you can cook yourself in 20-30 minutes. If you're already in a family, you have family to support. If you don't want to disturb your family, still okay. You can do your own things, bread omelette, whatever. You can just do it, and you can still get ready, and you can still be at 7 o'clock sharp at your home, well dressed and ready. and it is possible. Now here is the problem, right? Everybody don't get into these details and start doing that calculation. But I mean, when I say everybody, it means like 80% or 90% people don't get into these maths and say like, yeah, we'll make it, we'll do it, we'll go on time and stuff. But I can guarantee you that if you start doing all those things in a very structured way, very in a formal way, there is no way you can miss that. 100% you can't move it, but you have to put your efforts there, sincere efforts, like waking up at 5:30 sharp, make it 5 minutes here and there, it's okay, but make sure it is consistent. And once you are consistent there, from there on, it's everything is like easy. Dominoes effect, you would have heard about, which I'll explain later, but then that's where it is, right? You start doing that, you'll help structure your time, cooking, preparation, everything, and still you're ready at 7 o'clock, relax, and then sometimes you start from home, 45 minutes comfortable driving by car or by bike, by bus, you go everywhere, and then still you can make it at office at 8:50, right? That's what a simple planning would help, right? And this applies to your meeting, this applies to your other work, wherever you want to, be it family function, be it other family gatherings or outings, wherever. But if you follow this thing sincerely, it is possible. Never waste time. Okay, wasting time is a crime. So in every single activity of yours, so make sure that you're very particular about consuming the time in a very effective manner, so that you don't waste time. So everything like waiting, like if as I was talking about planning, right? There you see, like if you sit and watch TV in that preparation time, you're wasting time, right? If you don't watch TV, instead of that, if you start getting ready, you are saving time. So I'm just giving an example, but then this applies everywhere. Like when you work, when you're up for a meeting, when you're a thing, just make sure that you're not wasting time. Any time you waste at work is going to be a big impact in your life, in your career. Again, I've been repeating that, right? It's very important. You shouldn't waste time in any manner, right? The moment you feel that this is not relevant, this is not important, that means you're wasting time. You're talking to someone and that person is taking your time by talking, nonsense which is not at all relevant to your work or life or anything, something probably gossiping. It's a waste of time. Just give an example. Yeah, so make sure that you're very particular about consuming the time in a very effective way, and then you don't waste time in any manner, right? That's a thumb rule. Don't waste time. Again, time management, as I said, as I was like giving an example of leaving at 6 o'clock and working continuously, that is all fine, right? But then you see how much work you're doing in a very effective way, in a quality way. That's one of the time management, right? There are people who used to listen to music and work. There are people who used to take intermediate breaks. But if you spend quality time at work, without any distractions, focusing on work, you will be in a better position to finish the work on time, or you will be in a better position to finish the work in much more faster than others do, or much more faster than you do, right? So it's all about how effectively you're using the time without wasting, and you're completing it, right? So don't waste time. And particularly, when it comes to other angle of time management, this is a little bit different, but then here it comes, like, there'll be a lot of work which comes the late evening, right? Don't feel shy or don't hesitate to pick up those things, right? It fairly touches the time topic, that's why. But when you get a work to do, suddenly your manager shows up and says that, okay, can you do some work for me, or can you complete this? This might take another 2 hours or 3 hours. Don't hesitate, say yes to it so that you can pick up and do it. In this way, you will register yourself in your manager's memory or something. This person I can go to, and I can always seek for some help and stuff, right? You are at the beginning of the stage. You might not be able to contribute as much you can, but you just say yes and try to extend your time and try to work on that, right? It's nothing wrong in it, and it's very important, so that you get that support, you get that energy from your management, from your peers, so that you register yourself as someone who can always go to, and is always ready to do some work, extra work or something also. And even this applies to your weekend also, all right? So what does it mean? Suddenly out of nowhere you might be asked to do some on weekend work. In general, whether it is long hours or weekend or anything, your time is fully for work. Have that sort of a mindset. That's very important. Unless you don't get into this sort of a mindset, it's very difficult. You can always argue, where is my personal life? Where is my entertainment? Where is my this thing? That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about averages here. I'm talking about winners here, who want to win in their career, who want to win in their life, who want to make it big in their life, right? So for them, these things are irrelevant. For them, it's a goal they have to achieve, and they have to make it as early as possible, not to work for long, forever, like 10 years, 20 years, not drawing big money and still struggling. They don't want to get that. They want to make it big, but in a very short time. But for that, they have to sacrifice a lot. So what are those sacrifices? Late evenings, late nights, weekends. Pick it up. Don't feel shy. Do it. Okay, these are all initial days. You have that luxury. You might not have so much of personal commitments to fulfill. So in that way, it is easy for you to fulfill, right? But only thing you have to have in your mind is, if I do this, my life will be better. Have that positive frame of mind. It will. And even for the fact that, okay, for whatever reason, your peers or your manager or anybody is like trying to explore you or trying to exploit you, right? Even if it is so, it is fine. If they are cheating you, if they're not using it in the right way, it is still okay, because these are all your experience you're going to gain, and nobody can take it from you. Nobody can compete with you after 5-6 years. That the level of knowledge you have acquired by extra work and extra time you spend, and that knowledge is going to help you big time, and you will be in an incomparable position compared to your peers, right? So overall, time management has a lot of topics, but as I said, there are key things, very, very important, which if I want to talk, there are a lot of topics I can talk, but then these are the things like, being punctual, being on time, and then, trying to extend yourself. Don't waste time. Put your best efforts, quality time, work, enjoy later, not now. Okay, this is the time to struggle, this is the time to sacrifice, so that your entire life will be peaceful. It will be really, really relaxing at later point in time. Yeah, thank you.